Welcome back, everyone, and I'm here again with SBR contributor Dave Golokhov, and today we're covering which team out of the AFC West has a shot at winning the Super Bowl. How you doing today, Dave?
Doing good.
Alrighty, man. So here we have three teams that are fighting for a spot in the playoffs and a shot to win the Super Bowl. So let's start with the Chiefs. Right now, we find them at plus 10,000 to win the Super Bowl this year. Alex Smith, he does good on the offensive side. He can manage the clock and all. But besides that, the running game is still what they have, what has been prolific for this team. What else do you think they have, in order to actually make it to the Super Bowl and, have a chance to win it?
Well, I wouldn't be banking on the Chiefs to be winning the Super Bowl this year. I think this is a team that, last year you see sort of where they peak. They were hot, they're a good team, had a great situation going into the playoffs, but good situation in that game against the Colts, getting out to a big lead. But really, it's a team that struggles to beat the elite teams in the NFL. That's kind of been the calling card for Alex Smith throughout his career. Can manage things for you, do things, make sure you don't blow the games against the bad teams. But when you start playing elite teams, that's where his inefficiencies or his shortcomings show. In many ways, you could say the same thing about Andy Reid too. Chiefs, if they make the playoffs, which is an if right now, they're on a 3-game losing streak, still have a matchup with Pittsburgh, at Pittsburgh, and then home to San Diego in the last 2 weeks of the year. So if they make the playoffs, I don't think they're going very far. Can they beat a team like Cincinnati? Can they go on the road to beat a team like Cincinnati in the first round of the playoffs? Yes. Can they beat a team like Cleveland, maybe even Pittsburgh, if that's the matchup in the first round of the playoffs? It's possible. But can this team win 3 games in the playoffs, i.e., or I guess it would be 4 games? I don't think it's happening. I think this team struggles against the elite teams in the NFL, and they're not going to have many home games in the playoffs, if any. So I think that'll be their doing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. All right, now the other one that we have is the San Diego Chargers, who BetOnline has them at plus 4,000 to win the Lombardi. Now, in my opinion, San Diego is still lacking a lot of key pieces to actually be a real contender to win the Super Bowl. I think that Phillip Rivers is an excellent quarterback, but I just don't think that he has the team to pull off that win. What do you think, dude?
I would like to say that of all the long shots, San Diego would be one of the teams where it wouldn't be the craziest thing that ever happened, but I don't think it's going to happen. You take a look at San Diego's losses this year. Lost to New England, lost to Miami 37-0, lost to Denver, lost to Kansas City. Those teams are all above 500, lost to Arizona as well. You take a look at their wins: Buffalo, Jacksonville, the Jets, Raiders twice, Rams. The Ravens, they did win, but that was a miracle win at the end of the game. This is a team they should be better than they are, and the track record shows that they don't beat the teams above 500 consistently. They're going to have to face a bunch of winning teams in the playoffs. I have them in the same boat as Kansas City. Can they beat a team like Cincinnati on the road in the first round of the playoffs like they did last year? Of course. They could probably beat Pittsburgh. They could probably go to Baltimore and win again. Will they, win all the games that they need to win beyond that first round if they do get in? My answer to that would be no.
All right, man, last but not least, we got the Broncos, who BetOnline is favoring at plus 450 to win the Super Bowl. So what do you think here, man? Can Peyton actually carry his team and maybe help them win the Super Bowl for this year, being the case that they were so close last year?
Yeah, I actually do think the Broncos win the Super Bowl this year. This is my pick right now. Things are fluid, things can change, but I think the Broncos are the best team in football right now. And the reason I like them is because they've established a ground game. This is a team that was almost hard to beat, almost won the Super Bowl last year as a one-dimensional team, putting everything on Peyton Manning. But now they've shown you that they can win without Peyton Manning, basically. Last week, Manning had a horrible game, and the Broncos won. The week before, he was so-so, and they still pounded the rock and won the game. This is a team that we know Manning's going to be much better. We know he's going to be, elite. He's going to be he's going to win the Broncos at least 1 or 2 games in the playoffs. But now that they have the running game, it really throws defenses off. Everyone used to just drop back and sack, just rush the passer and sack Manning. Now all of a sudden they can take it to you. They can be the aggressors. They can pound the ball and set up the passing game. Once you start putting a little bit more attention on the running game, all of a sudden guys like Julius Thomas, Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker, they're going to have an easier time of things than they already have. So I think the Broncos are the best team in football right now. The defense is playing well, and it all comes from that ground game. So as long as they can run the ball, they're my pick to win the Super Bowl.
The only thing I'm a little bit wary about is the fact that C.J. Anderson is pretty new to all this. And I mean, don't you think that playing in a big prolific game like that would maybe make him, a little bit, choke a little bit, I'd say?
Well, I know what you're getting at. I think that it's not necessarily Anderson, although Anderson's looked good. I just think it's more the commitment to the ground game. Before Anderson, Ronnie Hillman looked good. Anderson looks good now. As long as the Broncos are committing to that ground game, it forces defenses to say, okay, they actually might run the ball today. We take a look at the Broncos' losses against New England, against St. Louis this year, even in the Super Bowl that you mentioned. They're running the ball they're passing the ball about 40 plus times and running it about 10 times. When you have that type of an imbalance, the defense has an easy time of things just saying, hey, okay, they're not even going to try running the ball. Now the Broncos all of a sudden have been running it more than they're passing, and that gives you a nightmare as a defensive coordinator, because they're running it down your throat, running it with success. You have to pay more attention to it, and then all of a sudden you got Manning in his play-action passes and his passes throwing all over the field. That's what makes it really hard to stop. So I think that's the key to the Broncos. Whether it's Anderson, whether it's anybody else, as long as they commit to the run, they're my Super Bowl champion.
All right, man. Good stuff, Dave. Thanks once again for all the insights, man, and we'll talk some more football again soon.
All right.
Take care, man. And for SBR Picks, this is Dax Floyd.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.